Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and this is Nicholas. The story top 8 match in front of ABT pairs Harold Harris out of Dacono, just north of Denver, and he's bowling Ralph Pruitt out of Westminster. Harold has a 16-pin advantage in handicap. Our first match on 5 and 6 is Mark Sullivan from Colorado Springs taking on Ronnie Holtz from Centennial. And on 9 and 10, bowl you're seeing right now, Joe Carpenter out of Greenwood Village bowling John Thomason out of Thornton. Another good week. Wow. Our second seeded player, round by our only update today. We're all first team of 38 transition. We play in most cases. The majority be their entries this week. The old hasn't really joined the amateur. Call 303 visibility. Two-pin over John. Holiday Lane, Spring National Plaza, up by Joe Carpenter on lane 9. Okay, Harold. It's going to increase John Thomason's lead unless he can convert this. Ralph Pruitt makes the 1-2-10. Great shot. For the bucket. Lane 8. King. Harold Harris on lane 8 going for the 10-pin. Looks good. All right, very good. So he now has a 23-pin lead on Ralph Pruitt. John Thomason on lane 9 gets the mixer. All right. 95 in the 5th with a strike. And Joe Carpenter, he can actually get to 94 if he can double here. Spare for Mark, lane 6. And now we're going to see Harold Harris, lane 7, frame number 5. Joe Carpenter, all right, does the same thing. Crosses over, gets a carry, but it's a double, which tightens that his contest up significantly. He'll be up 7 pins, actually 17 if he can get another one. And he's going to be up frame 7, lane 9. Again, the bowlers in this first round that do not advance, each bowler will receive $150. And then the 3 winners will bring in our second seed, Tina Hendricks. She'll bowl the lowest remaining seeded player, but now they're looking at a percentage of the bonus or the megapot pool. And again, today, that would be $454 to the 2 bowlers that do not advance in round 2. Then the money goes up from there. Good shot for Ralph Pruitt on lane 8. Mark Sullivan converts his spare on lane 5. Ronnie can jump on him scratch here with a mark. Joe Carpenter leaving the 3-9-10. That's a difficult spare. And he goes 9 out. He's got 109 in the 7th. Ralph a little light. Will he get some help? No, actually it hurts. Takes the 3-pin out, leaves himself the 5-6. Makeable. You can get the ball in between both. He is on a strike, so you want to make sure you get at least one. Ronnie Holtz goes crossover carries. Oh, John Thomason on lane 10. 6-7-9. And Ralph, great shot. Very good. That gives him 69 and a 5th with a spare. Good job. He's still down 5 scratch if Harold strikes here. And he's spotting him 16, so he could still be down 21. Both bowlers opened on 9 and 10 in the 7th frame. John Thomason is leading scratch by 14, but he's spotting Joe's 6, so he's up 8 pins. And Ronnie on a strike on lane 5 leaves himself the bucket plus the 7 pin. John Thomason crosses over for a strike on lane 9. And Harold Harris on lane 8 going to try to pick up the 3-5-6. And Ronnie opens on lane 5, can't convert that bucket plus the 7. So he's open through 6, he's got 85. Mark Sullivan can get right back in it. Harold, no problem making that spare. Maintains his lead. He's now at 18 pins with 4 frames to go. Uh-oh, Joe Carpenter got that one out a little wide, but ball comes back enough to leave him just a 1-2. And Mark Sullivan on lane 6 came up late, left himself to 2-4-5. Harold Harris, lane 7, high flush, great shot. Gives him 91 in the 6th. Maintains that 18-pin lead. Joe Carpenter down 8, needs to get something going here on 9 and 10. Mark Sullivan converts a spare on lane 6. It's going to give him a possible 81 in the 6th. That match is actually very, very tight. 2 pins, I believe. Okay, Joe Carpenter on lane 9 leaves himself to 3-6. Ralph Pruitt on lane 8. Trying to get up. Nope. Oh. And nope, the 4-pin won't fall. Leaves himself to 1-2-4-10. we just found out from Scott's iPhone that we had the Big Swiss this weekend up in Greeley at Highland Park. And we'd like to congratulate Team 10 Back Bowling. That's Sean Lee, Rick Schaefer, his dad Russ Schaefer, Frank Caccioni, and Alexis Morgan, winners of the Big Swiss this year. Congratulations, everybody. Good job.
I wondered if that would have an effect on your numbers here this
week.
It
did, but we still did fine. We had a lot of bowlers at the Big Swiss. It's run twice a year. It's a great tournament, team event, so you're pretty much locked in all weekend. Doesn't give the bowlers an opportunity to get down as it would be with another tournament. If they don't make it, they can come over and qualify the next day. That's an all-weekend event. So even with the Big Swiss going on this weekend, we still did 150 entries. We're only down 14 from last week, so that's awesome.
And weather's getting warmer, and people are come bowling.
Yeah, a key mistake here. John Thomason, first ball on the 10th. He was on a double and threw it right in the ditch. I think it went right off his leg. He's still in good shape, but he needs to regroup and see if he can fill that 10th frame. Oh, and Ralph misses a 4-pin on lane 7, gives him 113 open in the 8th. Harold can absolutely take charge at this point. Looks like the only real close match right now is Mark Sullivan and Ronnie Holtz. Okay, unfortunately, John Thomason goes gutter 8 for 169 scratch. Gives him 196 with handicap. So Joe Carpenter just needs a mark and count to win this match and set himself up for round 2. Harold Harris didn't get the double, but just left himself a 6-pin on lane 8 and frame 8. Could increase his lead to 30-some pins. Uh-oh. Joe Carpenter, 5-count washout. He's got to convert this, or John Thomason's going to move on. Oh, I think he set it short. Oh, he did. So he goes 7 out for 143, 176 with handicap. So your winner in a grinder on 9 and 10 was John Thomason. He's our 6th-seeded bowler, taking out Joe Carpenter, who was our 4th-seeded bowler. Or I'm sorry, Joe Carpenter was our 5th-seeded bowler, John Thomason our 6th-seeded bowler. Mark Sullivan, big double, matches Ronnie Holtz's double, so again we got a match on 5 and 6. Harold just needs to close some frames here. Ooh, fast 8. Okay, 9th frame for Ronnie Holtz, lane 6, working on a double. Crosses over, oh, but he can't get out to 9. Okay, Harold Harris trying to convert the 4-7, and he does. So he's up 32 pins with 2 frames to go for Ralph. He's pretty much got to strike out and hope for help. Ronnie Holtz is in a dogfight here. He does have the lead, but Mark Sullivan is on a double. He could actually finish strong and go around Ronnie. No problem making a 9 for Ronnie, so he's got 134 in the 8th, sparing the 9th. He can actually shoot 184 scratch. And Ralph gets a break. Only leaves the 10-pin, lane 8. So the best he can do is 163 scratch. Harold would just need basically count in the 10th frame. He doesn't even need a mark. Whereas Ralph's got a punch here in the 10th to have any hope. Makes a spare. Okay, Ronnie Holtz, 10th frame. Crosses over, gets a strike. Big ball, needs to do it again. Put some pressure on Mark, make him think about it. And again, Ron Holtz is spotting Mark 2 pins. And Mark can actually strike out for 189 scratch and win the match. Okay, Ralph goes 7 count. Unfortunately leaves a 5-8-10. Let's see, even if he converts it, the best he can do is 150 with 34, 184. And Harold's already got 189 in his pocket, so Harold Harris is going to win our TV pair match, 7-8 over Ralph Pruitt. And he will also move on. Harold was our 4-seater player. And Ralphie just goes 7 out, 137, but it was already written up. There was no way he could have won. But a good weekend for Ralph. Okay, Ronnie did get that double on lane 5, so this is going to go down to the wire. He's going to force Mark to at least throw the first one in the 10th. Okay, Ronnie goes 8 for 181, giving him 218. But Mark Sullivan can punch out with handicap, shoot 227, but he has to have the first one. Must have the first one to have any hope. All right, 10th frame. Mark Sullivan. Oh, goes through the face. Leaves a 6-pin. It's not going to be enough. Ronnie Holtz, with that late finish, is going to advance over Mark Sullivan, who you saw last week out of Colorado Springs. He'll go home with $150. So in our second round matches, we're going to have our second seed, Tina Hendrick, taking on Ronnie Holtz. And then Harold Harris will take on John Thomason. Okay, Mark makes his spare. Best he can do is 207 with handicap. He'll lose 218, 207. And Harold, 214 with handicap over Ralph Pruitt's 171 with handicap. He'll advance. And again, we'll just look for the fill ball for Mark Sullivan. And round 1 will be complete. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the USBC National Team condition. It's 38 feet for El Paso this year. Okay, our first round is over. We're going to take a break here for editing purposes. We'll come back in a few minutes. Again, you're watching the ABT Denver branch here at AMF Bellevue Lanes in Englewood, Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for round 2 of our top 8 match play here at AMF Bellevue Lanes in Inglewood, Colorado. This is Nicholas Sorsa, Director of the Amateur Bowlers Tour Denver branch, bringing you top 8 this afternoon. Got Harold Harris on lane 5 and Tina Hendrick on lane 9 in our second round of matches. All right, Tina starts out with a strike, and Harold leaves himself to 5-9. Now that these bowlers are in the mega pot, the worst they can do at this point is $454. Another great showing for Ronnie. He'll break even. Which makes Beth real happy. She doesn't have to sell 3 cars this week. Actually, Ronnie came back. He didn't qualify his first squad, but did very well in his second squad. Bowled good in the semis. It's all right. On this pattern here, all you have to do is close frames. Make spares, put the pressure on your opponent. And on lane 5, Harold went 8-1 for 9, so giving John Thomason an early advantage, but he has to spot Harold 23 pins. So even with that open, Harold will still have a slim lead, even if John marks here in frame number 1. And looks good. Nope, little light, leaves himself to 10 pin. And Ronnie Holtz, lane 10. He pulled it. Will it hold? Nope. Okay, so he's 9 out first frame. And he's spotting Tina 9 pins. But now he's down 19. You're not going to see too many big scores today. This is a tough pattern, so bowlers are in grind mode. Anything can happen. All right, John Thomason makes his 10 pin on lane 6. Cuts that handicap advantage almost down to, well, it's down to single digits at this point. Ronnie Holtz trying to get it together here, lane 9, frame 2. And no, it looks like 2 pins, double teamed it and left himself the 6 pin. I thought that was going to go. Ronnie out of Centennial. And years ago when I first took over the club, his dad, Ron Sr., bowled with me for a couple years. Now Ronnie and his wife Beth are bowling. Beth is a champion. Ronnie's still looking for that first title. And, oh, flattens it out, misses the 6 pin, so he's open. But again, it's early. But Tina can take a huge lead here. Ooh, a pretty good shot. Leaves herself to 4 pin. Harold gets a strike. So he goes open strike. And John Thomason went spare strike. So again, we're looking at a 12 pin advantage for Harold at this point. Oop, Tina let the ball go early and she goes open. So she's got 28 in the second to Ronnie's 18. So she's still up 19 pins with her handicap. But that was a huge help for Ronnie. If Tina would have doubled there or gotten a mark, it could have been big deficit early. Harold comes up a little late on lane 5, leaves it 2-4-5. And Tina, once again, this time 2 pin. Tina was one of our big winners in Vegas a couple years ago. She won, I believe, about $57,000. And she did it the hard way. We cut to a top 64. She was the cut. She tied a young lady out of Philadelphia. Had to have a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. Won the roll-off and then went right through the field and won an ABT national singles title. But Tina goes open on 2 single pin spares. Gets Ronnie Holtz a chance to get right back in the match. Scott Sledgester and I will be in Vegas, and we will be showing our side event tournaments and our scratch finals, as well as our national ABT singles event finals. And that'll be through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10th, 11th, and 12th of April out of the new bowling stadium at South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm going to let Scott have a room, and I'm even going to feed him, but he's got to get there on his own. So that could be the biggest gist. If you haven't seen Scott's car, it's a gimme.
My car's brand new. What are you talking about? My car doesn't even have 8,000 miles on it yet.
It will after this.
It will after this. Although the scary part for me is I got to drive through the mountains.
Yeah.
I hate driving in the mountains.
And unfortunately, that's a crapshoot with us in Denver here, and we're trying to go west.
I'm actually thinking about heading up to Cheyenne and taking 80 over.
It's longer, but it's safer.
It's longer for me by 15 minutes.
That's it?
I live in Fort Collins.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So
I'm already far enough north.
I would recommend it then. Yeah.
That just
go out to Salt Lake and straight
down. And head down 15.
Yep, absolutely. It's a good idea.
It adds a few minutes, but I don't have to deal with the ski traffic.
Yes. Even if we get a little weather up there, not so bad unless it becomes white out, which of course,
then nothing works. I had white out on I-25 near Monument a few weeks ago.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but the weather's been gorgeous so far, so hopefully we won't jinx ourselves. John Thomason went for the 6-7-10. It was a good try, but he's 66 in the fourth. And Harold Harris, again, can maintain that lead with the mark. Ronnie Holtz, that's much better. Okay. So he goes open, but spare, got himself right back in the match. So actually, right now, both bowlers tie scratch, so he's only down 9. And that's assuming that Tina marks. Oop, she goes a little right with the ball, leaves herself a 6 or a 4 count, but a 6-pin combination spare. Pretty much have to hit this dead on. Not the easiest of spares, especially with a little reverse hook like Tina has. She had a tendency to ball will deflect somewhat. She's got to be real direct, which she did. She did it perfect. That was a great spare for Tina. All right. So again, she's only up 9 pins through 4 frames. And Harold working on a double here. Will he get it? Oh, goes high and leaves himself to 6-10. Harold, a retired meat cutter, now living in Dacono, close to your neck of the woods up there.
Yeah, that's up where the Speedway is.
Yep. Harold, believe it or not, is 84 years old and is in better shape than most 30-year-olds.
My wife would like to know who took over his business because she's always complaining that she can't find good meat.
I don't know if he was a wholesale meat cutter or if he was actual, what I would consider a butcher. Yeah. That I can't recall.
See, unfortunately, my wife grew up in Chicago. I mean, in the city. So she lived, half of her neighborhood is Italian and the other half is Polacks.
Of course.
And
do you know there's more Polish people who live in Chicago than in the whole country of Poland?
Yeah, I do know that.
That's amazing.
I did know that also that the Polish president, whoever's running for the Polish presidency, they come to Chicago to campaign.
Why not?
Absentee
ballots?
No, well, yeah, but whoever's if they get 4 guys running, all 4 of them come. It doesn't matter.
That's incredible.
But anybody running for politicians running for office in Poland go to Chicago to campaign.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you, Scott. But the cool part is, your wife living from Chicago, and I when I worked for Brunswick, I was there for 3 years, and I never had a bad meal in 3 years. I absolutely loved the food in Chicago.
Well, there was this
all
little
the ethnic
Italian
food, the Greek food, the Italian food.
Yes.
Just incredible. The German food, unbelievable. And Polish food, of course. Oh, my God.
Well, they had a little Italian butcher in the neighborhood, and he knew his stuff.
Yeah. You have to.
In those neighborhoods, you want to stay open, yeah.
Yes.
You got to know what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah, if you treat your neighbors good, they're loyal.
There is a Polish deli here in Denver that's opened 2 years ago, and they have some amazing food.
You're going to have to give me the address for that. My wife, being a Slovak, will appreciate that. I'll have to surprise her, take her down there and let her go crazy.
It's the only place where my wife will get pierogies.
Ooh.
She'll make them herself, but if she's going to buy them, she either goes home to Chicago or she goes to this place in Littleton.
Okay. I know. I want the address.
You got it.
Because especially with Easter.
Oh, yeah.
And we respect the no meat on Friday. So every Friday we've had pierogies for like the last 3-4 weeks.
Well,
minimum. And I don't mind, trust me. Oh, Ronnie, that was a good shot. Just comes up a little weak. leaves himself to 10. And Harold leaves himself to 1, 2, 4. And Beth, sitting to my right, is already aged 8 years watching her husband bowl. By the time we get out of here, she's going to apply for Social Security. It's harder watching than it is bowling. Absolutely. Because there's nothing you can do. Very good. That was perfect. Great shot. Okay. So Ronnie's got 75 in the fifth. And I believe he's taken over scratch from Tina, which makes this a very tight match. Tina has 63, so actually Ronnie is now up 6 pins.
What's the handicap
big
difference?
Turnaround, 6 pins.
6 pins against well.
It was Tina's advantage, now it's Ronnie's. Ooh, high, leaves herself the 4, 7, 8. And Harold doing his grind game over there other than his first frame open. He's good. John Thomason has actually had 2 splits. So Harold has a nice comfortable lead early. Harold over the years has won a number of titles with me, but again, I tell people that Harold's 83, 84 years old. You just can't believe it. He's a fantastic individual, keeps himself in great shape.
He's
amazing.
Yeah.
Just an amazing individual. And actually for years he bowled a senior travel league in town. I'd run into him all over the place. He bowled 3-4 times a week. He's cut that down somewhat, but still doing very well. All right, Tina gets back on with a strike. Gives her 83 in the sixth. Harold going for his spare, makes it.
The peanut gallery agrees with you.
Of course. They've been in the club long enough. They know what Harold can do. All right, Ronnie's got to keep going here. He's actually in pretty good shape. Doesn't want to let Tina back in. Up 6 pins with a strike. A little high, but leaves the 6-10. So his lead has been cut to 4. He needs to make this spare. Hopefully Tina won't double on him and jump around him. John Thomason on lane 6 makes the 6-10. But he's got to get going here. Harold's just going to swallow him up. Down 32 pins with 3 frames to go. Okay, Ronnie makes his spare. Now the 2 winners of these 2 matches are going to bowl each other right in front of us on 7 and 8. And the winner of that match will take on our tournament leader, Will Reynolds Jr. Okay, that's what John Thomason needed to do. He got a strike in the 8th, got to set himself up. Give himself a chance to throw a couple strikes here, put some pressure on Harold.
Am I mistaken, or are the scores much lower this week?
They're very much lower because of the condition. The condition's tough. It really is. You really don't have a lot of room. There's no hold in the middle. You see how much that ball wants to break if you get it inside? And there's a little bit of hang on the outside. It's almost not quite what I would call a reverse block, but it can get to that point. You get a little bit of push on the outside, dry up the middles, it gets tough. You got to play it straight, drop down, go to a harder shell ball, mid-lane ball. Mm-hmm. Some bowlers this week were even using their spare ball for their strike ball and doing quite well. That's how dry they were getting over a period of squads.
So this would have been
not the easiest. Then it's the first time they've ever been on it too. So, they're learning as well as bowl. And can't get the break there.
This might have been a pattern I'd have done okay with.
118 in the 8th for run. And Harold hangs on, gets his spare. Our peanut gallery's rooting for Mr. Harris.
There we go.
Because it's been a while since Harold's won. And Tina, that was close to being a double. Leaves herself the 6 pin. Should be an easy conversion for her. Tina out of Brighton, Colorado, just east of Denver.
We might need to cut the peanut gallery off with the beer.
We almost have to do that on a weekly basis, I think, don't we, Scott? Harold White leaves himself to 10. Tina looks like she's got her spare. So that gives her 103 in the 7th with a spare in the 8th. So she can go up 11 pins with a strike. This is a huge frame for Tina. Plus she can set herself up that if she has to get the first one in the 10th or throw one in the 10th, could pretty much lock Ronnie out. Okay, first ball in the 10th or the 9th for Tina. Oh, a little light. 3-5-6. And Harold makes his 10 pin. Harold is a machine. He's a spare making machine. 142 in the 8th with a spare in the 9th. John Thomason desperately needs a double here. He's down about 30 pins. Hey, Tina going for her spare and gets it.
Oh,
John can't convert.
Right up the middle and left the 6 pin.
Yep. Things are looking bleak for Mr. Thomason. Best he can do now is 83 scratch. And Harold with an open in the 10th will still shooting the 170s, and that should be good enough because he's spotting them 23. So John is pretty much, he's got to punch and hope for some serious help. Like real low count on his first ball for Harold in the 10th and a miss. Could be a possibility, but that be it. Oh, Ronnie goes through the face. Leaves himself to 4-6-7. He's got his back up against the wall right now.
Go for the 2?
Go for the 2, absolutely. Because 10th frame, a lot can still happen because the match isn't that far away. All right, John Thomason gets the first one. He needs another one to put any kind of pressure on Harold. And Ronnie flags all 3. Gives him 125 in the 9th. Best he can do is 155. But Tina could go with an open 140, so this match is still not over. Ronnie can double and still pull this one out, although Body English would tell you that he thinks that the match is over, but it's not. John comes up late. Oh, he can't get the ball to carry.
The 2 pin just did not want to go down.
Didn't want to go down.
Not sure if you could see that at home, folks, but that 2 pin was rocking and rolling.
It was. So with this conversion, he'll have 175 and 27 for 202, and that's exactly what Harold has already.
Oh, and
he misses it, so your winner is going to be Harold Harris. He will move on to our semifinal match, and he's going to bowl the winner of the match you're looking at right here on 9 and 10 between Ronnie Holtz and Tina Hendrick. Ronnie did get a mark, so full count, huge. He can end up 145 scratch, 182 with handicap, and depending on the count, could force Tina to mark in the 10th. It might hold. No, it's going to run away, but he does get 7. So he's got 142, 179 with handicap. And unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. Tina's going to be our winner over here. So Tina Hendricks, our 2-seeded player. Harold Harris, our 4-seeded player, will meet each other in the semifinal match to take on our winner, or our leader, Will Reynolds Jr. Again, 4-count washout. See that those missed single pins by Ronnie is going to come back to haunt him. And Harold converts. He's going to move on. And even though Tina has this ugly spare conversion, it's still enough. Still enough. She's going to move on. 188, 179. So Ronnie Holtz and John Thomason will tie for 4th, and they'll take home $454.
That's not a bad day either.
No, not a bad day at all. We're going to step aside for editing purposes again. When we come back, we're going to treat you to a semifinal match between Harold Harris and Tina Hendrick right around the bend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Nicholas Sorsa of the Amateur Bowlers Tour here at AMF Bellevue Lanes in Inglewood. Our second-seeded player, Tina Hendrick, taking on our fourth-seeded player, Harold Harris. This is the semifinal match. The bowler that does not advance will get 10% of the Megapod, take home $808. And our winner will actually, at that point, have $1,416 in his pocket, guaranteeing himself no worse than second place. The winner today, $2,731. The winner of this match will take on our overall leader, Will Reynolds Jr. of Denver. And Will's been with us for a number of years, has never won. He's got a great opportunity here today. All right, Tina unfortunately chops the spare, goes 9 out in frame 1. She's spotting Harold 4 pins. Again, Tina, one of Denver's ABT national champions. We also had 2 brothers, Ben and Noah Elich, actually win the Classic and the Masters the same week. Unbelievable. Uh-oh. Harold leaves himself 6-7, so he's going to give the gift right back. Again, this is a pattern for those of you that are going to the USBC Nationals this year in El Paso. Of course, obviously, machines are different, conditioners different, surface could be different, but it gives our players a little bit of an idea of how to play the pattern, and it's tough. So I recommend that if you're going to go out there, talk to your proprietor, your general manager in your bowling center where you're bowling league. You can download the patterns off of bowl.com, and hopefully they'll be able to dress a couple pairs for you and get some practice in. Give yourself an opportunity to win some good money in El Paso this year. Okay, both bowlers have opened. Frame 1, this is frame 2 for Harold Harris. He's coming to come up light, leaves himself the 1-2-4. I think once Scott goes out to Vegas and spends 4 or 5 days out there watching all the bowlers from all over the country, he's going to get excited. I think we might even see a bowling ball in his hand on a regular basis after this.
Stranger things have happened.
All right. Harold trying to convert the 1-2-4. It's going to hook. Hooks by it. So he's open. 17 in a second. Again, giving Tina a chance. She had to spot Harold 4 pins so she can go around them with a mark. And it's going to go crossover and can't get out the 8. But hopefully should be. Again next week, March 28th and 29th, we'll be at Arapahoe Bowling Center. Fred Gensch, the proprietor down there, with his son Billy. Tyson Lundquist, general manager. Okay, Tina makes the 8 pin. So she has an early lead here, 2 frames into our semifinal match. Then the following week, we go to Holiday Lanes in Lakewood. League Bowlers, one of their favorite houses. Very, very league-oriented, tournament-oriented. Cindy Gerard, Derek Fawcett. Great restaurant, Elbow Room Lounge in Lakewood, right on Colfax and Kipling.
Good burritos.
Oh, please. Incredible Mexican food, folks. Got to stop in and check it out. That's where we'll be in 2 weeks. Easter weekend, unfortunately, but you know what? Even though it's Easter, burrito there is still
works.
good. Yes.
You know, we've got 2 of the 3 greatest centers in the state in the next 2 weeks. I mean, we've got Arapahoe, their kitchen is amazing, and then we've got Holiday.
Yeah. That's a good way to prep us up so we can go out to Vegas.
Oh, yeah, you know, if we could figure out a way to throw Highland Park in there, then we just have the trifecta of kitchens.
Oh, please. Yeah, that's a fact. And actually, believe it or not, years ago, Classic Lanes in Greeley. Oh, they had a smothered burrito that I would dare people to try to eat by themselves. The biggest burrito I've ever seen in my life. The food was outstanding. And Tom Lovell, unfortunately, we just lost a month or two ago. Tom, a great friend of mine, his daughter worked there. Tom was a great bowling proprietor, great tournament manager, was a NABI director for years out of Virginia, and then here in Denver as well. Tom is a great friend, and I dearly miss him. Okay, third frame for Harold, trying to keep pace with Tina. And he holds on. They give a little body English there. All right, so Tina is up 11. Has to spot Harold 4. So she's up 7 pins with the handicap difference through 3 frames of our semifinal match. And whoever is our winner in this match will definitely be getting pins from Will Reynolds, one of our master players. But again, he's looking for his first title. Both of these bowlers you're watching right now have won titles. Great shot for Harold. Great shot. All right. Keeping the pressure on.
Well, Dennis is giving coaching tips to our number 1 seed here. So.
Oh, God help us. I can never figure out how a guy that doesn't make the cut is giving coaching tips to a guy that's leading the tournament. You're going to have to explain that one to me.
I couldn't explain it to you. I just know he does it every week.
Oh, God. See, that's where you need a real good set of Bose headphones.
Uh-huh.
And just block it out. All right, frame 4 for Tina, going for that 5 pin and makes it. All right. All right, she's up 6 pins at this point. Very close match, and you figure this match is going to be close. Both bowlers pretty straight players, good spare shooters for the most part. Will Reynolds, a thumbless bowler who likes to cross some boards, so you're going to see something completely different than you've seen in these first 2 rounds. Oop, goes high, but leaves a 4-7. Again, another good payday. Third place today, 808. Second place, 1416. And our champion today, 2731. Next week at Arapahoe, first place in excess of $2,500. And makes it. Okay, she was kind of worried about that there for a second, but she holds on. You can tell this pattern was tough because even our semifinalists that made it but didn't advance into the top 8 are still down at the end of the low end of AMF Bellevue practicing on this pattern. I know a few of them are getting ready to head out to El Paso. They're going to try to take advantage of playing this condition as much as they can in the time that they have. Okay, Harold comes up, leaves himself the 6 pin, but he's on a strike. Cut the lead to 4 pins with a spare here. And it looks pretty good. All right, good spare conversion for Harold. He's got 57 in the 4th. The Tina's 65. Again, with the difference in handicap, Tina's lead now cut to 4 pins. Speaking of good food, Scott, South Point has got an excellent steakhouse, excellent Mexican food. They have a New York deli. You are just going to think you died and went to heaven.
Well, hopefully they won't have New York pizza.
I don't know if they do or not, to be honest. They do have a Steak and Shake also.
Well, that I'll like, but I am not a fan of New York pizza.
Well, you either like it or you don't.
And I qualify as those who don't.
And I qualify as I can't wait.
See,
that looked pretty good.
If
Left
it's not
yourself
deep
the knife
dish,
in.
it's not pizza.
I hear Chicago again.
That's right.
Although I'll tell you what, I've seen deep dish Chicago pizzas that are loaded. I don't know. I think you need a crane sometimes to get them on your table.
Oh yeah,
they're worth every bit, every penny.
If you weigh less than 200 pounds, you're not eating more than 2 slices.
You can't eat more than 2 slices.
No.
All right, Tina makes a spare, and we're in grind mode.
Excuse me.
84 in the 5th. The Harold 77 in the 5th. A 3-pin lead for Tina. Harold can take the lead, though, because he does have a strike in the 6th. Tina's going to try to do the same. She's up in frame 7. Oh, left her hand a little bit. Ooh, and gets a bad break. Leaves herself to 2-4, 7-10. Is a makeable split. See how she does here. She's going to go straight at it. And nope, a little too much. So she goes 8 out for 108 in the 7th. Harold can all of a sudden take a 20-pin lead here or more with the double. Again, Harold 83 or 84, depending on who you listen to, but Harold has been bowling the Denver branch for over 30 years. He gets a big double there, and he's going to be up in frame 8 to increase that lead, but he's now in control. Harold is typical in match play. If you're going to get him, you have to get him early. Because if you let him hang around, he is just going to grind you. And that's what he's been doing 3 matches so far this afternoon. Frame number 8 looking for a 3-bagger. Crosses over. Mixer doesn't quite get the 6. And he's got 106 in the 6th. With a spare conversion, 126 in the 7th. Give him a 22-pin lead with a spare. And if Harold does indeed hold on to win this match, he's going to get 25 pins from our leader, Will Reynolds Jr. Okay, 6-pin conversion for Harold. Oh, and he lets it leak out. He got into that out of bounds and opened up. So he's open in the 8th. He's still going to be up 10 pins, even if Tina marks. But if she can double in the 8th and 9th, we have ourselves an even match. That's going to come up late. And nope, can't backdoor it. Leaves herself to 1-2-5. She makes this. She's only down 10. Will it hold? Oh, comes up late. So she has 116 in the 8th. Both bowlers have opened in the 8th. Harold has 18 pin scratch advantage plus 4, so he's up 22 pins with 2 frames to go. Tina could really use a strike here. Nope, not going to happen. Leaves herself to 1-2-9. Needs to go dead on at it, high on the head pin with that little reverse hook to take the 9 out in the back. going to be very difficult for her to get the ball to carry through and take the 9. So she's just going to have to go real high into that 1-2 pocket. Nope. Goes light. Doesn't get the break. So she's open. 125 in the 9th. And Harold is in command. Best Tina can do now is 155 plus 46 for 201. Harold just with 1 mark in the next 2 frames will be in the 2 teens. So right now it looks as like Harold Harris is going to be moving on to bowl our leader, Will Reynolds Jr. Oh, he was very fortunate. Thought he was going to leave a 4-9, but he got the 4 to kick out from the back, leaving himself just a 9-pin. Harold can actually go 9 out, and win by a pin. 202, 201. Makes this mark any kind of count, he's going to be moving on. Looks good, and it is. All right, so Harold's got a mark in the 9th, and he is going to be moving on. He's going to be taking on our tournament leader, Will Reynolds, right here on 7 and 8. Will have the option in this championship match whether to lead or have Harold lead, and we'll find out and let you know right before we start our championship match. We'll stay right here, watch our 2 bowlers finish. Then we'll take a quick break for editing purposes, get the names and handicaps and our scores, and we'll come back for our championship match. Ooh, looked pretty good, but leaves himself to 10. Even if he goes 9 out here, he's got 162 with 50, giving himself 212. And that's more than enough to defeat Tina Hendrick, who will finish in 3rd place today. $808. Great day for Tina. Tina, it's been a while. I think 6 consecutive weeks she has not made the cut. So it's good to see Tina get into the top 5, finishing 3rd, taking home some good money. Well, that's not going to hold, but that's all right. He's going to go 162, 212 with handicap. Harold Harris, our winner in our semifinal match. We're going to step aside right now. And again, this is Nick Lasorsa, Denver branch director. We're here at AMF Bellevue Lanes in Englewood, Colorado. When we come back, we're going to feature our championship match. Will Reynolds Jr. of Denver featuring our 4th-seeded player, Harold Harris, out of Dacono. Again, we'll be back in just a bit.
Welcome back, everybody.
All right, Scott, thank you, buddy. And again, Nick Lasorsa with Scott Sledgester. ColoradoSports.TV. We're here for our championship match, AMF Bellevue Lanes in Englewood, Colorado. Will Reynolds Jr. out of Denver, bowling Harold Harris out of Dacono. Will is going to spot Harold 25 pins. We're waiting for color bars, and we're going to begin our championship match.
There they are.
Okay. And nope. No. We're going to have to shut them down, so we're going to have a couple minutes.
They got him on the wrong side again, huh?
Got the arrows wrong.
Nick's trying to get stuff all organized here. The scoring units reset themselves before they were able to capture the scores from the game 3, so we're running around trying to get the scores out of the bowling center's computer so they can figure out what all the placements are for everything. Apologize about this delay here. Will and Harold are looking at us like, would you guys get your shit together? Or I should say stuff. I'm sorry, Grandma Kelso. I'm going to get a phone call here from Grandma Kelso over that one. We don't actually strive to be G-rated. It is a PG-13 network. But sometimes
every once in a while, brain damage gets the better of us.
That's right.
Again, this is an old Boss scoring system, so we're going to have to shut these down, get the names back in.
The sense of urgency here is
non-existent, unfortunately.
Yeah, if the paycheck was non-existent.
We won't repeat that.
We should put a camera on Dennis.
No, we're not going to do that.
Well, I didn't say a mic.
You might get people sending you checks to keep the camera on.
Yeah.
Masquerade game ball, I don't
Oh, Mr. McCracken, we miss you.
Yes. Well, the Big Swiss is over, but unfortunately, fortunately for Steven, Steven's been working day and night for I don't know how many weeks in a row, and he finally got a weekend off to go bowl, which is great. And it's well deserved. Steven's done a great job here, and John is B also.
It's just kind of funny that for some folks like Steven, where they work and they work and they work and they finally get some time off, and what do? They go back to a bowling center.
Yeah, well.
But it's not theirs.
No, yeah. And Steven, being a scratch bowler, appreciates the time off to get out and actually participate rather than just watch like unfortunately I have to do. Dennis Glover, floor director, getting the names in pretty quickly here. And again, Will's going to spot Harold 25 pins. Will going for his first title, and Harold's got a bunch, 8 or 9 minimum. And we're ready to go, so now we're just waiting on color bars.
You know, I can't say anything bad. They let me borrow a cable.
That's true. Yeah, we saved you some money going to, what was it, Walgreens or no, Home Depot?
Oh, I went both. I went first to Walgreens and then Home Depot. And what I've discovered out there, folks, is that if you run out of monitor, if suddenly your monitor cable disappears out of your box because of your teenage son, then
See, that's rule one. You have to have a teenage son.
Well, I've got 2 of them. So, but I scramble and trying to find a monitor cable, and nowadays all you can find are HDMI.
Yeah.
The old school ones are not as easy to find.
Right.
At least on this end of town.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're here. We just don't know where to go quickly.
That's probably true. Sorry, Harold.
And we are ready to go. Okay, this is our championship match, ladies and gentlemen. The winner today, $2,731. Second place today, $1,416. Again, Will Reynolds Jr., Harold Harris are going to shake hands. Will's elected to lead the match, and here we go, finally.
I'm going to need to step out for just a second, but I'll leave you in Nick's capable hands.
Wow, what a mistake that is. All right, this is your first look at Will Reynolds. Again, the 7 bowlers you've seen up until this point. Now you're going to take a look at Will Reynolds, who throws thumbless, almost two-handed. Leaves himself a baby split to start. He's going to spot Harold 25 pins. Will Reynolds, a master player, which means his average is at least 190, up against Harold Harris, coming in at 174. So classic division bowler against master division bowler here in the championship match. And not quite. So he's open, 9 out first frame. Harold can jump on him early. Again, he's already got 25 pins spot to start. With a mark here, can increase that lead to 35 or more. Put a big hurt early on Will. Oh, looks like he pulled the ball a little bit. Yep, high through the pocket, but he's fortunate just to leave the 3, 6, 10. Again, we've had a couple new bowling balls coming out from different manufacturers. Obviously, Storm and 900 Global are sponsors. 900 Global's big ball coming out in the summer will be the Big Dream. Oh! Harold chops the 3 off the 3, 6, 10. So both bowlers open in the first frame. And Will has actually gained 1 pin in handicap, so now he's down 24. Storm recently has come out with the Rocket and the Crux Pearl. If you haven't seen that ball, visit your local pro shop and your friendly bowling center. Pro shop operator will gladly give you all the tips on how to drill them and what the advantages are. Ooh, that was almost a 5, 7, 10 for Harold. Leaves himself to 5, 10. Okay, you want to get this ball left of the 5 pin. Kick it out to the 10. That's going to be close. Oh, not quite. So he's open, 17 in a second. Swings the advantage back to Will Reynolds. Again, Will, leg bowler out of Brunswick Heatheridge. Arapahoe Bowl, where we'll be next week. Oop, he wheeled that one wide. It's not going to make it back, but easy spare, leaves himself to 1, 2. Again, Harold over the years did his league bowling basically out of AMF Northglenn, Sonesta, AMF Sonesta, and Thornton. And traveled senior travel league all around Metro Denver area for a number of years. Okay, that looks pretty good. If it holds, and it does. He was worried about it there for a bit, but he gets the 1, 2. So he's got a mark in the second. Again, cutting out that handicap. With a strike here, will only be down 13 with the handicap difference added in. That looks much better. Will it hold? No. Crosses over, but only leaves himself the 6-pin. Unfortunately, Will's been practicing on 1 and 2 that were relatively fresh, and 7 and 8, our TV pair, has been used all day, so got a lot of play on this. So his ball reaction is much more than he expected, so he's going to have to be making adjustments as he bowls. Easy spare. All right. So we got 29 in a second with a spare. Harold Harris up frame 3. Lead cut to 13. That one looks pretty good if it holds. It does. High flush. Great shot for Harold. There he goes. He gets himself on the board here. If he can throw another one, he'll get back that handicap that he gave up in the first 2 frames, and we'll be back to almost a 25-pin lead again. This match will move pretty quickly because both of these bowlers take very, very little time. When they get up on the approach, they're pretty much set and ready to go. Frame 4 for Harold, looking for a double. Now he pulled that one. Will he get lucky? No, can't kick out the 9. Again, on this pattern, if you're inside of your target, the ball's going to hook almost immediately. There is absolutely no bump in the center of the lane on this condition, which makes it very difficult. You have to be accurate. And then you're fortunate that you only leave yourself a single pin spare, because marks are at a premium on this pattern. Okay, looking to convert the 9, and he does. Okay. So Harold Harris, 37 in the third with a spare in the fourth. And Will Reynolds with a strike can go 48 in the third. Okay, that looks much better. Will it hold? Nope, again. Can't get that ball through the mid part of the lane. The ball wants to go. Leaves himself the 5-pin. And I'm in. The Pope is in. I got 2 more guys in. Okay, we're good. We got to do something. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to owe us. All right, going for the 5. Looks like no problem. And he does. Okay. Pressure's off. All right, so Will is down 15 at this point with the handicap difference. Again, Will trying to win his first ABT title. He's had a great weekend so far. See if he can keep it going. Nope, once again, can't get the ball right of the head pin. Leaves himself to 6-10. He's got to make, the way he throws the ball, he's going to have to make a big move with his feet left and try to get the ball, skate the ball through the heads. If he has another ball that's not quite as aggressive, he would definitely want to do that. Ooh, almost chopped the 6 off the 10. Fortunate to convert that spare. Okay, Harold Harris up frame number 5. He's got the lead, so as long as he keeps closing frames, Will's going to have to double somewhere along the line to catch him. Oh, tugged that one again. Will it get lucky enough? Crossover? Nope. And he leaves a 9-pin. Much better. Easy and straight. All right, Harold's got a spare in the 5th. Both bowlers with early opens, but have been Harold with 2, but has come back with strike, spare, spare. Down 9 pins scratch, but he's up 16 with the handicap difference. Halfway through our championship match here at AMF Bellevue in Inglewood. Maybe gets a mixer and carries. All right. So strike in the 6th for Harold. See if Will can respond to the challenge. Down 16. Again, another good payday today. Second place, 14-16 with the Megapot. Winner today, $2,731. Frame 6, Will Reynolds. And he's getting closer. That was high pocket. Leaves himself to 3-6-10. He's now down 19, has to convert this. Will it hold? No! Cannot get the 10 out, so he's 91 in the 6th. Open. Harold Harris, with any kind of mark, will take the lead. Scratch can increase his lead to 30-some pins. 40 with a double. Why not? Okay. He'll cross over and get the strike. That'll work. At this point, any bowler, these 2 bowlers will take any break they can get. Harold's either going to be up 30 or 40, depending whether he can double or get a spare. Frame number 7. All right, he gets the double. That was huge. Harold can really put a stranglehold on this match with another one right here in the 8th frame. Frame 8, Harold Harris. Looks good. Oh, little high. Leaves himself to 4-7. 104 in the 6th. With a spare conversion, 124 in the 7th. Will's going to have to at least get a double to get close. Running out of frames. Oh, I think he pulled it. I don't know if it's going to hold. It doesn't. So he's open in the 8th. 132. Even with the mark, Will's still going to be down 26. He's got a double here. Cut the lead to 16 with 2 frames to go. That's going to go left. But he gets a break, and he gets a key double. This match is changing. Almost a 40-pin lead at one point for Harold Harris has now been cut to 16. I'm sorry, 26. He's still up 26. But Will is on a double. Harold is on an open. Both bowlers have 2 frames remaining. Oh, ow. Leaves himself to 4-6. He's on a double, though, so every pin, 1 pin meets 2. If he gets one, he'll have 147 in the ninth. And he'll be down 30 pins going into the 10th. Almost insurmountable lead for Harold Harris at this point. Unfortunately, I think Mr. Reynolds will have to wait another day to get his first ABT title. Harold Harris seems to be in the driver's seat. Frame 9. Right through the face, leaves himself to 4, 6, 10. But not as critical for Harold as it was for Will, unfortunately. If Harold can get 2, he'll still be up 19 going into the 10th frame. There is a slight ray of hope here for Will Reynolds. He will force Harold to mark if he can strike out in the 10th. But Harold's going to finish first, so Will know what he needs when he gets up to finish. He's up 6 pins handicap, so he's down 19. Both bowlers entering the 10th frame. Harold's going to finish first on lane 7. Any mark pretty much shuts Will out, but if Harold opens and Will can strike out, he could conceivably go around and win. Oh, pretty good shot. Leaves himself to 10. Right now with his handicap, Harold Harris right at 200. And if Will Reynolds can strike out with his handicap, he can shoot 202. So if Harold makes this spare, he just needs to stay behind the line and he will be our winner this afternoon. And it's good. All right. Key spare in the 10th frame. All Harold needs is 2 pins or 1 pin, and that'll lock Will Reynolds out. Actually, 2 pins, he's a winner. And that's going to do it. All right, 9 count gives him 160 with 50 pins handicap. He's going to shoot 210. Harold Harris is our champion today here at AMF Bellevue. With 40% of the Megapod, he's going to take home $2,731. Will Reynolds finishing up. But a good day for Will nonetheless. He's going to take second place money with 20% of the Megapod, $1,416. Makes a spare. So Will could shoot 167 with his 25. Will give him 192 to Harold's 210. All right, 166. 191 for Will Reynolds. Again, our champion today is Harold Harris out of Dacono here at AMF Bellevue Lanes. We're going to step aside for editing purposes. Come back. We're going to have a talk to our new champion this weekend, Harold Harris. And again, you're looking at the Amateur Bowlers Tour, Denver branch, ColoradoSports.TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm Nick Lasource. I'm here with my newest ABT champion, Harold Harris, out of Dacono. Harold, one of our charter members of the Denver division. It opened in 1982. Harold's been bowling the ABT Denver branch for that long, 32 years, his 10th title. Harold, we were just talking off camera that both you and I couldn't remember how long it was, but I know it's been a number of years, but you figure it's been 4 or 5 years since your last win. I remember you won a doubles title with Ed Rodriguez sometimes ago. You know, I think that might have been the last one. I'm not sure, but I know it's been a while. No, you was the singles title?
I won a singles against Charlie Kerber.
Charlie Kerber?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Charlie was in Vegas this weekend. He couldn't make it this weekend, but he called me. He said it was 99 in the desert. I said, well, it's nice here. You don't have to worry about that. But great job, Harold. This was, nobody's ever been on this pattern. This is the USBC team event pattern for El Paso this year, and it was pretty tough.
Yeah, it was.
And it seemed like it was changing pretty quick. I think you had an advantage because you're a pretty straight player, but I think you had a better chance of getting lined up and kind of grinding out spares, and really that was the key this week.
Yeah, I had a little problem getting lined up. I didn't know where to start. So
yeah, it's funny. It seemed like every match you had an open early, but then you got it together and you kind of cruised through it. It was nice. It was pretty sweet. You know, the scores weren't great, but they were good enough.
Yeah.
You know, $2,700 makes it even better.
Yeah.
Now your wife will get you out of the doghouse, but this is going to make you feel a little bit better. So we got 2 checks for you that total $2,731. And again, that's great bowling. What did you use for the most part today? What ball did you use?
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone. Wow.
15-pound ball.
Good. Awesome.
I tried the 14, but it got splits for me, so
probably the deflection, I would think.
Yeah, I was
15-pounder got a little bit more hit for you.
I decided to stay with the 15, so
good.
It worked better.
Obviously. That's fantastic. All right, buddy. Well, that's going to do it. Again, we're going to be at Arapahoe Bowl next week in Greenwood Village, just south of here, Denver Tech Center. Along with my new champion, good buddy Harold Harris, I'm Nick Lasource. We'll see you next week. Again, we're 1 hour earlier next week. So 4 o'clock start, 4:15, and we'll see you then. Again, Harold Harris, Nick Lasource. We're at AMF Bellevue. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday at Arapahoe Bowl.